All right, guys. Thanks for joining in on this weekend video. If you're tuning in during the week, I do these videos every weekend. They are self-help videos. I'm just gonna roll down this guy a little bit. We are in my car again, as this is the quietest place in my life right now, and it's just works best for me in making these videos. Today we're gonna be talking about Warren Buffett. If you guys are familiar with the gentleman, he's philanthropist, an investor, businessman, head honcho, kind of just like a moneymaker since birth, basically. He got into the game from his dad, basically had him buy first stock at like 12, and then from there is just networking and the social events and just knowing the right kind of people. But today we're talking about Warren Buffett, yes, but we're also talking about what he has to offer for us and what he has. So as you can tell by the title of the video, is 5 productivity lessons that'll help you get out of the rut, in a sense, that you're in. If you're feeling stuck, right? If you're feeling, man, I just have so much stuff that I want to do, there's so much that I want to accomplish and complete, I just don't know how to get at it. I just don't know how to do it. Like, there are so many ideas in my head, or there's so many goals, or little achievements, or big achievements, or however you want to see it. As humans, we just pile on responsibilities without knowing what it does to us physically. Is we want to keep up with what we put on our list, but physically we're unable to, because the body can only go for so long, right? We need our sleep, we need our rest, we need to socialize, we need to have a beer, we need to escape, but some of us don't know how to escape. So this is how to stay productive, how to put out product in a timely manner, but also keep your sanity. Also just keep your other wants and needs in life, and not just your goals and your achievements. So these are 5 productivity lessons that'll help you just stay on the track, just stay on the track a little bit more easier. So you're not, going back and forth from one thing to the other thing, and just, it's already Sunday and you just didn't do anything because you have all these half-done projects. So rule number one, two list strategy. Number 2, minimize time spent on your commute, right? So when you're driving to work, I'll get into more depth as I do with each rule as I go through them. Number 3 is say no. Okay, say no. Be comfortable with that word, no. No, you want it to be your best friend. Say no to meaningless things. Again, I'll get into more depth on what that means. Number 4, decision reduction. Deciding things. Reduce. We'll get into it. Number 5, the 5-hour rule. 5 hours. We'll get into it. So, number 1, the 2-list strategy. So the 2-list strategy, from what Warren Buffett, wants us to do, he puts out these rules for us so we can tackle them. So we can try them on ourselves, on our life, our achievements, our goals. So I know with making lists and grocery lists and to-do lists, we all want to do those, right? It's just easier to pull out the phone and just be like, okay, this is what I need to get at the store. But it could be less, what's the word I'm looking for? Less pressure on you if you have your list already for you, right? Already there, ready for you. So when you're ready to do your grocery list, when you're ready to do your to-do list, it's there, it's ready for you. So with the 2-list strategy, I'm getting into a little bit too depth with the 2-list strategy, but here basically what you want to do is make a list of 25 goals. So rule number 1, make a list of 25 goals that you hope to achieve in the next 5 years. Career goals, okay? You can add this to personal goals, right? Personal growth, personal, learning. You want to read a book, you want to run a marathon. These are personal goals. Or career goals. We're focusing here more on like work and career and more long-term goals rather than short-term, like you want to lose weight. So that's 6 months. We're thinking like 2, 3, 5, even 10 years. So you look at your age and you look, in 10 years, this is where I want to be in my career. This is what I want to venture in, and this is where I expect to be. And if I'm not there, I need to retract and see, why am I not there? So basically, you make a list. You make a list of 25 goals that you hope to achieve in the next 5, 10 years. If you're having troubles coming up with 25, minimize it down to 10 goals or 10 achievements that you want to, succeed in by the time limit that you put yourself in, right? The 3 years, the 5 years, or even the 10-year mark. Okay, so as humans, we want to prioritize our responsibilities and perform them at our utmost ability, right? We want to execute them in just the right amount of time, no less and no more, right? We want to be you want these priorities, these responsibilities to be secondhand nature to you, where you don't really think about it much. It's kind of just, it's a part of your routine now. Groceries, picking up your children, these are personal goals that you want to achieve to have a better running day, prepare yourself for that. So we want to do it with your most it says maximum effort, right? You're putting your full energy into these priorities that you set yourself up with, these responsibilities, because you're capable. So it's a little bit of a self push, okay? And as humans, we can't rely on other people to expect them to push us. We need to push ourselves. So we need to put on our responsibilities, our priorities. If you're looking at somebody, go, wow, how that person just looks so well put. Well, he put or she put responsibilities on themselves to portray themselves as an independent person. So we want to also eliminate things that are less important. So we've gone through like master your priorities, put maximum effort, right? Don't, what's the word, like dilly-dally or whatever, is like, don't half-ass it. Go at it 100% or don't do it at all. If you're beating yourself up because you can't keep up with your responsibility, that's okay. But if you're being lazy or half-assing it and you can put in more effort, you're just wasting your time, other people's time, probably your money and other people's money and energy. So keep in mind that you're only wasting your time, body, energy, all that, because you're not putting maximum effort. You want to put in maximum effort for everything that you do. Everything that you intend to finish and to achieve and succeed, put in your maximum effort or don't do it at all. Okay? You're wasting a lot of people's time, and most importantly, you're wasting your time. And then we come down, so we're talking about two-list strategy here. We're talking about what kind of goals and what kind of achievements we want to succeed in. And we want to put in maximum effort into these. And we also want to master our priorities by consistently doing them and making it into routine so it becomes secondhand nature. So that it becomes part of your day, whether that's doing yoga in the morning, whether that's eating a smoothie or drinking a smoothie, whether that's working out, whether that's spending time with your children, whether that's, spending time with your parents or grandparents, or some areas in life where you feel that you need to be there more. Try doing that and putting in your maximum effort. Because again, if you don't put in your maximum effort, you're wasting their time and you're wasting your own time. So as we go down the list, we want to eliminate things that are less important. And always in our life do we go through events or certain occasions or situations or gatherings that you feel are a waste of your time. You're just like, why am I here? I'm wasting my time. I could be doing something way more important that values me. Sure, you're supposed to, show up to certain occasions or events because they expect you to show up, but again, it's up to you. Is it really your responsibility to be a people pleaser? No, it's not. So again, don't show up to things where people are expecting you to show up if you don't feel it'll benefit you at all. If you like socializing, then go. If you don't like socializing, then don't go. If you feel like you can have a more productive day without socializing, without going to said event, then that's perfectly fine. And those people need to respect your choice. And if they don't, you drop them like a hat. Family, friends, coworkers, old friends, acquaintances, anybody. A family needs to respect your decision not to show up to a party or a gathering or an event if they feel, or if you feel that you don't, your presence there might bring joy to a lot of people, but doesn't bring you any joy. Then that means those people aren't very important in your life. Family, friends, coworkers, acquaintances, anybody, siblings, anybody. As you grow up, families, come apart, and siblings come apart, and friendships come apart, and relationships come apart. Don't feel like you need to be there because they expect you to be there. Again, you're wasting your time. They're not wasting their time because you're feeding their wants and needs. It's really difficult when it comes down to family and whether you should show up or not. That's why I like to just show up for a little bit, say my highs, say my hellos, and just tell them, you know what? I've got work to do. I gotta go. Sorry. I'm not much of a socializing kind of guy. I can be, but in my family in particular, they're very loud. They're not obnoxious. They're just loud people. And I'm too am loud, but not as loud and chaotic as they are. And it can get a lot for me. And my anxiety comes up, and there's so many reasons. There's a lot of reasons why. It's excuses and blah, 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 blah. But I know my worth, and I know my time, and I know my own values and what I want out of my day. So as an individual, you need to know what you want out of your day. And if you, by going to an event or a gathering, puts you in a position where you go, well, I could be doing something a lot more productive, then don't waste your time on meaningless things. Don't waste your time on things that are less important in your life. So that's just family, right? Or the friends or coworkers, or like say you have a hangout after work and you've been with them all day. Why go out and hang out with them after work, right? Some people enjoy that. Some people enjoy working and then hanging out after work, and then some people don't. So don't go even though they expect you to go if you don't feel like you want to go, right? You're putting yourself in positions your entire life where you don't want to be, but you do it because you're a people pleaser. Don't be a people pleaser. So do the 2-list strategy first with the 3-step exercise. So this is the 3-step exercise that you need to do this 25 goal list strategy. So we talked, number 1, 2-list strategy, right? So we're talking about 2 lists. So the 3-step exercise is, step number 1 is write down top 25 career goals, okay? So you're looking at your career and you're going, okay, is this where I want to be in my career? If it is, then kudos to you. Keep on going. If it's not, write down some goals on where you want to be in your career in the next 3 to 5 to 10 years. Let's say, for example, go back to my previous video of a salesman. You're a business salesman, right? And you want to become the best salesman on the floor. What is it in my power that I need to do to become the best salesman on the floor? Well, if I know I get a call back every week, but I'd want maybe 5 callbacks within the end of the week, right? Then I need to be more respondent. I need to make more calls. I need to be more assertive. I need to be more, put more effort maybe. Just go a little bit harder, right? If you want to be the best at anything, go at maximum effort. Don't be a lazy ass. Don't half-ass it. If you want to achieve something, put in maximum effort. And then that's how you know, well, I did everything that I could and I still wasn't able to. That's when you go, well, I'm not going to give up. I'm going to keep on going. Or you just go, you know what? I'm at the end of my ropes. I'm going to give up and I'm going to try something else quite similar to it, maybe. But at least you know you gave 100%. So you should write down 25 goals. If that's too much, write down 10 goals. And then you want to write down on the next, on the side of it. So you say you want to become the best salesman, or you want to write an album by the end of 2 years or whatever, or you want to, you're a veterinarian or whatever, and you want to up your game up, or your work at the hospital and you are studying to become a doctor and you're at the bottom of the ladder, but in order to become a doctor you need to keep going to school. So write down these goals, these career goals that you want to succeed in, and write realistically how long do you think these would take? How long do you think it would take? Once you've done that, some goals could take 2 weeks, a year, 3 years, 5 years. There's a lot of different times on when you can achieve a goal, whatever it is. So again, this can apply in your work, personal, family goals, all different type of aspects in life. But right now we're concentrating on career goals. So what do I want to be? Okay. Ask yourself, what do I want to be? What do I have to do that and to be that? And what do I want to have? Okay. What is it that you want to have? What is it that you want to be? And how are you going to go about doing that? Okay. Ask yourself these things and ask yourself, how realistically is it for me to get here? If it's not realistic, then maybe I should choose different career goals. You should have, so once you've done the 25 goals, right, and you wrote down how long you think it's going to take, then you want to circle the five most important goals that are most important to you, okay? Circle those 5 most important goals, okay? Now you should have 2 lists, okay? You should have your top 5 goal list, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you should have the other 20 goals, okay? You have one list here, and you have the other list of 20. You have the list of 5, okay? And Warren Buffett gives us this example of his pilot doing this strategy, and the pilot going, okay, I have my 2 lists, I have my 20 goals, and then I have the most important 5 goals that I want to concentrate on. Okay, and then Warren goes, okay, what about the ones you didn't circle? Okay, what are you going to do about those? And the pilot goes, I'm going to work on the 5 main goals and then slowly work on the other 20 when I feel like it. And what do you think Warren says? Warren says no, okay? Don't concentrate on the 20. This list over here now became your do not do list. Do not concentrate. Do not, no. Okay? Everything you didn't circle became your avoid at all costs, okay? Your 5 main goals here, those are the ones that you put in your maximum effort, maximum energy, time, money, all of that. You put it all into these 5 goals. You avoid this list. You know that you have other goals to do, but you have to complete these 5 goals first, and then you can put in another goal. Put in another goal. And as you knock out these goals, other goals come in. And what you're doing is you're knocking them out like flies, one by one. Slowly but surely, are you going to get to your destination on where you want to be? If you were to concentrate on these 5 goals and then go back to these, how confusing. This is what we do as humans. We don't know that we do it, but we do it. All of these little goals at the end of the day that we want to achieve are compiled and jumbled and disorganized. And then on top of that, you have your main goals, then you have your family goals, and then you have your social goals, and then you have your traveling goals, and then you have your, relationship goals, and then you have career goals. So you have all these goals as a human, okay? What you need to do is organize them and execute them in a timely and an efficient manner to where your day becomes less chaotic and less crazy. So you have 5 goals that you want to concentrate on. And then you have the 20 that you do not want to concentrate on at all. You know they're there. You're ignoring them. You're ignoring them, you're ignoring them, you're ignoring them. And as much as you want to do number 6 or number 7, because those 2 are as important, or you feel are as important as number 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, you are not doing 6, you're not doing 7 or 8, or down to 20. You're not doing those. You're just doing the 5. And as hard as that can be, we want to tell ourselves not to do number 6, okay? I myself, I have goals, right? But then I go back and work. No, I gotta execute these first. As fun as it would be to do other goals, right? To mix it up even more, you can't put more on your plate because we are not robots. We're humans, and we need to give ourselves a break every now and then. So complete and succeed. So step number 1, do your list. Step number 2, circle your list, and then have 2 lists. Number 3, complete and succeed your top 5 first before choosing the next career goals. What I just said. Avoid the list of 20 and put all time and effort to your top 5. Okay? That's rule number 1. Okay? Rule number 1 is making your 2-list strategy. And I'll read some side notes here that goes along with doing the 2-list strategy, which is stop trying to do more. Which is what I've been trying to say, is that we can't load too many responsibilities on our plate. We can't load too many wants and needs and all that jazz onto our plate. Our life, our day can only handle so much. So doing more isn't the solution. What we need to do is remove things that don't contribute to our top 5. So you have our top 5 goals, and then you have all this chaos and all this insanity, all this other people's wants and other people's needs and other people's, manipulation, and they're wanting to use you, right? And then here comes you, the Mr. or Mrs. People pleaser, and then you waste your time for them, which then results in you not achieving your goals, because what you're doing now is you are a pawn in somebody else's life, and they're using you as a light bulb to shine their light, to shine their way. You need to have your own bulb, your own star, your own light, and shine your own way. And don't use your energy, your light, on other people if you know they can succeed on their own. Push them. Be aggressive. Tell them to shut up and just do it. That you don't need to be there and be moral support, or to be there all the time for them, to walk their hand through life and wasting your valuable time, energy, and money and all that jazz. Know your worth. Know your time. Okay? So if they don't contribute to your top 5 goals, drop them like a hat. Drop them, drop them, drop them. As soon as you drop them, you realize that not only that you have more time, money, energy, you become happier, and you become like a new person in a sense. It's like, wow. It's kind of like when you have a very dependent child, right? Or a very dependent relation, or somebody that just depends on you and they can't succeed in life because they feel like they need to have you there all the time with whatever they're doing. It's like, grow up and get it together, So know your worth, and don't contribute to other things that don't contribute to you, right? As long as you're supporting them and they're supporting you, then by all means show up for them, right? But if they're not supporting you, or if they're not giving their 2 cents onto how you should do things, like if you are only there for them and they're not there for you, drop them like a hat. I've dropped so many people in my life, and you know what? They haven't come back to me. And you know what? I'm glad, because I'm glad that those relationships are done. Dunsky, yeah, fini, done, out of here. And if I see them again, I don't even think about the relationship we've had because it was so minimal. You see what I'm saying? Is that stop wasting your time on being a people pleaser. A lot of people waste your time. A lot of people waste your energy. All right, so put 80% of your energy into the 20% of things that influence and produce the most outcome. I'll say that again. You're going to put 80% of your energy, right? You're not going to go 100%, 80%. Of the 20% of the 5 goals, the 5 goals is 20% of the production or product that you put out. So you put 80% into the 20% of production or product that you want to put out. And then keep that, ratio, keep that momentum going. Pull in another goal, boom, pull in another goal, boom, pull in another, and put in 80%. Where's the other 20% going? Into resting, into family time, into socializing, into, just relaxing, some media, whatever it is, reading, TV, whatever it is, escape, nature. 20% of the 80 or the 100% goes to escaping your production. You gotta have that balance. So with this strategy, with putting 80% energy into the 20% of production that comes out, with this strategy, you'll have more completed projects at a timely manner, right? Might be less time than you expected because you wanted to juggle all these other minimal, less important, goals, right? But what you're doing, sure, you can pop these out too, and then boom, big goal, little goal, little goal, little goal, little goal, big goal. What you're doing is that you're mixing it up. You don't want to mix it up. You want to do big goal, big goal, big goal, big goal. You want to make every small goal and dissect the heck out of it and see how you can make it a bigger goal. The reason why those goals are on the bottom of the list is because you haven't done enough thought process into that goal. It's an idea. It's an idea. You have a small goal down here, and as soon as you dissect it, as soon as you get into more depth with it, and then you create and you put juice in it, it becomes bigger and bigger. It goes up the ladder. You might bring out some smaller goals down here. This bigger goal is building some momentum. It's bursting out. It wants to come out to be a big goal. You want all your small goals to turn into big goals. That way, every goal you achieve is a big success for you. So, as these little goals fester and cook and boil into bigger goals, what you're doing is putting 80% into the 20% of production that you put out. And you're putting out big goals every single time. So I've said, if you're trouble finding top 5, if you're having a trouble finding top 20 to 25, bring it down to a smaller list of 10 goals, 3 main goals. Reduce the goals that you want to do. If you can come up with list 25 goals, then good for you. But I've seen my list. My list maybe goes up to like maybe 16 goals, and like the bottom 10, are like stuff that I want to work on, but they're not as big as I want them to be, and I'm still working on them. And the bigger goals are up top, and those are the ones I'm concentrating on the most. And so that's rule number 1, and it's a big rule. It's one of the most important rules, obviously, because you can't choose a goal if you haven't thought of it or written it down and put it up on your wall and go, this is what I want to achieve. Some people may think, okay, I want to lose weight, or I want to eat healthy. Okay, you just thought it. It's just in there. It's gonna disappear, and you won't think about it for another 3 or 4 days until you feel like, oh man, I feel fat. I really need to lose weight, or I feel like groggy. Oh man, you haven't written it down, so that means in those 4 or 5 days turn into 2 weeks or whatever. After 2 weeks, you go, oh man, I should have started working out 2 weeks ago. You've repeated the cycle your entire life. Get it together. Write down the fact that you want to lose weight. Write down the fact that you want to, get out there and socialize. Write down the fact that you want to achieve these goals. Write it down on a freaking notebook, notepad, whatever it is. Put it on a wall. Look at it every day and remind yourself these are the things that you want to do and achieve. Other people are getting tired of hearing you announce your goals and without you executing them. A lot of people are getting tired of your excuses. A lot of people are like you're wasting other people's time basically. And so they've dropped you like a hat, and you're expecting them to be there for you. You're the manipulator. Get it together. So as we write down these goals that we want to achieve, and as we execute them, and as we succeed in them, we want to remind ourselves how valuable and how important our time is, right? Being an individual means being an independent and doing things that you want to do and achieving them on the time that you want to. Not waiting for other people to do it for you, and not waiting for the inspiration. If you're an artist and you're waiting for inspiration, I got some news for you. It's never going to come. You make your own inspiration come. You force yourself into inspiration. You force yourself into uncomfortable situations, which then arise new thoughts and theories and ideas, which then become inspiration. If you don't put yourself in an uncomfortable situation, if you don't test yourself, if you don't fail, if you don't scrape your knee, if you don't bleed, if you don't cry, you don't learn, and you don't grow, and you don't evolve. And then you look at all these people and you go, how do I get there? Well, you don't know their backstory, and you don't know what they've been through to get there. So that's rule number one. Rule number one is writing those 25 goals, putting it down to a 5-list goal, and then executing those 5 goals as efficiently as you can. As soon as you've done that, and as soon as you've done, that routine to where you've done a big goal, and then you put in another big goal, and then you found that that's comfortable, you can also, this is rule number 2, is minimizing your time on your commute, right? So when you drive to work. I come from a city, a town where it's very blue collar, very farming, so it doesn't take a lot of commute to get to work. Most people spend about maybe 15 to 20 minutes, maybe pushing it to 30 minutes to get to work. But you can have, outside work. So people do drive out from where I work to other cities to work, which is about a 20 to 30, sometimes even an hour commute. I hear people driving to work, but this is what I'm talking about, the blue collar family. Blue collar town, meaning they have to make that drive. They can't work from home, right? So this rule basically applies for people who work at like a business to where they can work at home. Not necessarily to your blue collars, because you can't really work at home if you're a bartender, or if you're a server, or if you pick up trash or whatever. You don't have this option, but who does have this option are people who work in businesses and things like that, and people who can work at home. So if you have a job that you can do without going to the office, right? Without showing your face at the office every day, or without showing your face at the job that you work at, whatever it is. If you can do your work outside of the office or outside of the place, building, or whatever it is, then don't show up. Ask your boss. Go, boss, Mr. Boss, I can do way better work, efficient work, without showing up to this place of work, because one, it's a waste of my time. I'm driving so much, right? 30 minutes, I'm driving 30 minutes to work and then 30 minutes back. I'm wasting an hour out of my day just so I can work over here, when I could just be working at home with no commute and put out more product, put out more trade, invest in more stock or whatever, or doing whatever, and succeeding more. So Warren says the poor invest their time, whereas the rich will invest their money. And this is true in the sense that if you want to become rich, you invest your money in stocking and whatever, and then you hope and pray that your risk will pay off. Coming from a blue collar family, or I should say town, I understand what it means when we invest our time, because our time is so precious, because we're working all the time, right? It's harder for the poor to invest their money because there's only so much to go around. But this shouldn't discourage you. This should motivate you into saving your money. If you are poor, save your money, invest your money. You understand that your time is valuable and it is precious, but are you wasting a lot of your time in places that you shouldn't be because you do work at a blue collar town that, you know, you work and then drink and then you spend your money on things that aren't important, that don't contribute to your 5 main goals. You know, so it's where you're investing your time as the poor person, right? Or as the rich person. You know, it's where you're investing your money as the poor person or as the rich person. A rich person can invest their money in stock and whatever and do all that jazz and become rich, but then it's where are they investing their money now? It'll disappear if they don't invest it the right way. So we'll get into some facts. Here is that the U.S. Census Bureau says the average American takes, like I said, 25.9 minutes to work, which we'll just round that up to 30 minutes. So basically, you're wasting an hour sitting in a car, driving to a place where if you know you don't have to show up to and you can just work from home, then why drive to work and why drive from work to home? You're wasting a lot of time and energy, okay? So you add that up, that's 250 minutes a week in transit, okay? That's 5 days a week, almost an hour sitting in your car every single day. That's approximately 4 hours. I would just say 5 hours, okay, a week. Monday through Friday, every single day. 5, 10, 15. That's 20 hours wasted. That's almost a whole day wasted a month. A valuable time, okay, that you could be doing work. You could be making money, but instead you're sitting in a car or you're sitting in your bus, your train, your transit, and you're wasting time. And you're looking out the window and you're just wasting time. Whereas you can just roll out of bed, go to the coffee shop, and then work at the coffee shop, which is maybe a 5-minute walk to where you live, okay? So in that time, 4 hours, Warren makes $6 million, $250,000. And that's not in comparison to, you know, your average Joe. I'm just saying that you could be making money during that time. So we say 9 days a year, okay? In 42 years, the days will add up to almost a year. So this is, I did the math to where if you did an hour sitting every single day, 42 years, that's insane. That is insane. So tell your boss you'll be more productive working from home or a coffee shop. It'll benefit you and them. Okay, you're not wasting time anymore. You're not wasting your energy, and you're not wasting money on the commute. And you're putting out more work. So less commute time means more time for work. So if the boss says no, you have to come to work. You have to work here. You can't work from home. You can't work from the coffee shop. What you should do on your commute, if it's boring, is to not make it boring, okay? Is to use it to prepare for work. Meaning 5-10 minutes to make a to-do list, a prepare list. What do you want to achieve during the day? What kind of goals do you want to do? A to-do list. What is it out of your day that you want to achieve? Okay? You can start exercising control where you can, okay? You can exercise control in the things that you read and say to people. You can develop a small commuter's routine. Wake up, have coffee. You know, wake up early to make a routine, to make going to work fun. You know, wake up early to have more time, to enjoy, to do some yoga, have a coffee, a muffin or something. You know, we wake up, go to work, wake up, go to work, wake up, go. We can have some from 5 to 8, you know, those 3 hours of just yoga, some small exercise, a good TV show, you know, some comic, or prepare for work, you know, or you can say prepare for work for the commuter's routine. You know what I mean? Like enjoy your day. Enjoy it. Read the newspaper, socialize, you know, stay off social media, but read news articles, you know. Try to stay informed so that way you go to the office with some good information for everyone to hear. You want to be productive and be aware of your surroundings so you can have a good story for the day, you know. You know, be friendly so you can chat up, you know, the cutie across the subway or whatever. You know, maybe they'll be there tomorrow, and that way the conversation won't be so awkward, and you'll be like, remember we were talking about that yesterday. And then, you know, enjoy life and make that routine enjoyable, so work then becomes less daunting. You know, it's like you've had a good day so far, and make it a better day.